Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Chevy Boy back on the channel, and this is episode number 3 of my Gran Turismo Grudge Match series. So what you're looking at is the spec sheet and the upgrade list for my 1997 Camaro Z28. And if you remember right, this Camaro was completely upgraded, completely maxed out when I raced it against the 2000 Cobra R. This car makes 479 horsepower and is about 1,500 kilograms in terms of weight, which is like 3,300 pounds, 3,200 pounds-ish. And the car that you're going to see next is a 2003 BMW M3 CSL. This car is about, I believe, it's 1,387 or so kilograms. So that's about 200 kilos, which is 200 kilos, that's 440 pounds less than the Camaro. And it makes 436 horsepower, so it's 40 horsepower less, but it also weighs 400 pounds less, so it kind of balances out. And the track that we're going to is the 2009 variant of Circuit de la Sarthe. So you guys might be wondering why in the world I have the replay angles but without the time trial format that I had done in the previous 2 episodes. Well, I don't know. I kind of got bored of, staring at the cars just kind of driving down the track, from the hood view. So what I thought about doing and what I did here was took the 2 cars, had them in the replay camera angles of them driving down the track, and I will have the time slips posted at the end of the video. And what I'll do for next round, for next matchup, is I have figured out that I can load a replay and race against the Ghost. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'll just do the replay angle. But basically, you guys are probably wondering why in the world the Camaro replay angle, even though they started at the same time, the Camaro is about 2 seconds different. The main thing is that even though it's an NA inline 6 on the BMW M3, it's weird because it handles much better than the Camaro, and I haven't touched either suspension, I don't believe. They're all maxed out, but they're all running stock suspension and stock brakes as far as I remember correctly. But it's weird because, like I said, the BMW, it weighs like 400 pounds less, so it's like 200 kilos, but it weighs about 400 pounds less, which allows it to be more nimble. But it's odd because I had recorded this last week Thursday, I believe it was September 20th, and today is September 25th. It's Wednesday when I'm recording this voiceover and everything, because I'm doing it post-com. But yeah, no, so the lighter weight makes it more nimble, but from what I remember, the M3 CSL, I believe it's Coupe Sport Light or something like that. I think it is what that's supposed to be, but when I did this video originally, I thought it was like Comfort Sport Light, which doesn't make any sense because it's basically a racing package. It's like a tier below or a step below the GTR, so that wouldn't make any sense. But yeah, no, and if you guys, your Camaro history, the Z28, when it came out in 1967, yeah, you had your base model with the inline 6, but then you had the RS, which it had better suspension. Right, and it had a stripe package, so it made it look racy, and it had the 327 small block in it, and I believe later on was the 350, and the Camaro got a little tail happy out of that corner. And then you had the SS, right? The SS is that killer, you know, all all bite and all bark, all bark and all bite, basically. The car didn't care. Like, if you wanted it to go in a straight line, it would go in a straight line. Stoplight drags, Camaro SS was your thing. But if you wanted the car to handle, you checked off the Z28 package. And back then, a lot of people didn't know what they were. And that was basically, well, not even basically, it was literally a package denoting suspension and brake tuning and such that were used in the Trans Am Racing Series. And for whoever, out there still believes, classic American cars can't turn, that's a load of bull crap. Because that Z28, not unlike this Z28, does indeed turn around corners and stop. You might be wondering why I picked the BMW M3 CSL. I can't buy them from the dealership in the E46 generation. So I found that on the used car market for, I think it was like $27,000 or something like that. And so basically I just bit the bullet because, my dad owns an E36, but this is an E46. And it wasn't until later that I found a bare bones E46 M3. So I just decided to go with a competition package versus a competition package because, I don't have the base model Camaro because, obvious reasons. But the base model Camaro is 2 cylinders less and about half the engine, so that doesn't really help. But yeah, so essentially though, when I had these two cars later on without power assisted brakes, the Camaro behaved much better without power assisted brakes than the M3 did, which is odd because the M3 handles better and brakes better than the Camaro. And where I believe the Camaro maxes out in a straight line at about 187, 188 or so. Well, no, actually it is about 187, 188 miles an hour. The M3 maxes out at about 192. So in a straight line, and my next race my next matchup, I believe, as I said, will be between, actually no, not what it will be between, but it will be on the variant of this track without the chicanes, so the back straight will be like 2 miles. But no, the BMW catches it in terms of top speed. But again, raw power, the Camaro just accelerates harder out of corners, but the BMW, it doesn't. It's weird. I believe it's probably because of the torque that the Supercharger gives the V8. Granted, the V8 already has a lot of torque anyhow, but, what are you going to do? Sorry, I slapped my hand on the pillow because I'm recording this, just chilling out, but, yeah, I know it's weird, because like I said, the M3, it wanted to break loose a lot without power-assisted brakes, which I just found really, really odd. But with the Camaro, I believe because it's heavier, the Camaro just, I don't even know how to explain it. The Camaro just didn't break loose. Yeah, they both had issues without power assisting on the brakes, but the Camaro just took it way better. And like I said, I think it's because of the fact that the Camaro was heavier and it just didn't lose its composure as much. But again, I tested that after. But no, if you're asking me which car would be my favorite, I would have to say that for raw power, Camaro wins out. Yes, the 4th generation was a big step over the previous generations in terms of chassis stability, in terms of braking, in terms of cornering, in terms of everything, really. Except for the raw power that the 1st generation cars got you, but that's obvious. Now, if you're going to ask me what I think about the Beamer, I like it. Don't get me wrong, I like the BMW, but it's not my favorite of the two. In terms of handling and braking, it's a great car. Don't get me wrong. But my preference just isn't in the BMW. And actually, it's funny because the BMW, believe it or not, finishes first on this track. And I believe it also finishes first on the track without the chicanes. But again, you know, this is not that track. This track has the chicanes on it. So I guess it just comes down to which car you like better. Do you want a car that has more power and that brakes and handles slightly less than the BMW? Or do you want a car that handles more and brakes better than the Camaro, but in terms of acceleration, it's more of a dog? You know, I guess it's just down to personal preference. But yeah, no, and I don't know why, but the picture won't show up after this. But the Camaro actually, well, no, I'll get to that once I get to the picture. But hold on. Alright, sorry about that. But again, you know, the Camaro is only marginally slower. Actually, if you look at this, it is about 1.8 seconds slower. But if you guys did enjoy this, let me know, and I will catch you down the road. This is Chevy Boy signing out. Peace, y'all.